Hello guys, and welcome to yet another edition of this F1 2014 100% race career mode. This is season 3 and this is going to be the Chinese Grand Prix at Shanghai. We are just about getting ready for the practice session here, and I'm going to be setting up the car with what I hope is going to be a decent setup for this particular track. We are definitely going with a low downforce setup here. I do not want to get caught too much by the AI on the long back straight there, and I seem to remember that last year we did pretty well here. That was in the McLaren though. We ran a very low wing setup, very low downforce setup there, and it seemed to just give us that little edge we needed there to keep some of the other AI cars behind us on the twisty turny parts of the track there, and we're able to keep them at bay on the long straights there, and we are basically trying for the same thing here. Anyway, we are jumping straight to Q1 here, just clipping our front wing coming through the last corner, and this is going to be our first lap, 1:41.570. By no means an impressive time if you look at what Lewis Hamilton is actually doing here, and Sebastian Vettel also, but I am hopeful that we can improve on this in Q2 here on the option tire. We seem to be, I'm not sure whether or not it's me or whether it's the Ferrari car in general, but this particular car seems to be very slow on the prime tire there. And although we don't fare all that much better on the option tire here, we really weren't going complete balls to the walls on that particular lap. We just wanted to get into the shootout, and as you can see there, we managed to do just that. Diving headfirst into the shootout here. This is going to be our first lap. This has felt like a very fast time here, but we have to wait and see what happens when we cross the line here. Last corner, managing not to clip our wing this time. Rosberg 1:36.217. Are you freaking kidding me? We're over 2 seconds off the pace here, and things do not bode well. So we're going to be staying out for an extra lap here. As you can see, also Hamilton has taken temporary pole here, 1:35.955. We managed to improve on our time, 1:37.787, but we're still almost 2 seconds off the pace there, and this is not looking good for our chances in this particular Grand Prix. Also, look at Sebastian Vettel there. I'm not sure what happened to him or whether or not the Ferrari in general is just slow on this particular track, but we are starting 5th and 7th on the grid for tomorrow's race. Just going through the pit strategy here, we are getting set for a 2-stop race. We are going to go option, prime, option, and hopefully that second stint on the option tires there is going to give us the pace we need on the latter laps there. 5 lights out. We are getting underway here. Bottas appears as though he's kind of standing still there on the inside to our right, and Massa is almost being run off the track there, trying to go down the inside of his teammate Bottas, I believe it was, or whether or not, I'm not really sure, it might have been a Force India instead. Anyway, we are kind of cutting through everybody here as they kind of seem to move out of the way for us there, and very surprisingly, I have to say, we are into P1 here as we come through that snail-like turn 1, and Rosberg currently running in P2, and we have, I believe it is Bottas in P3. And on a side note here, I feel I should apologize for the music here in the first half of this video. I'm not really sure what happened there, but the software that I used to record this particular Grand Prix on the PC there just didn't get any sound through here. I've had that trouble before with my hardware recorder, but I haven't really used that in a while. I'm using software only right now, but seemingly that does not make me immune to the same mishaps as the hardware does. Running very wide here, coming into the left-hander, and that's going to cost us some time here, coming through that sweeping right-hander. Very high traction turn, and the AI is going to have a definite advantage right here, but hopefully our low wing setup here on the back straight is going to help us, and hopefully it's going to be enough to keep the hungry AI cars from coming behind there with DRS and everything later in the race here, as we just crank it into rich mode, hoping to build a bit of a gap down to Rosberg there. He is not saving fuel yet, I'm pretty sure of that, even though he does have a habit of doing so in his first stint. Anyway, lap 1 status here. We are into P1 of the Chinese Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg is in 2nd position, Bottas 3rd, Sebastian Vettel is 4th. And skipping right ahead here to lap 4, we have gotten the notification over the radio there that Sebastian Vettel has had an accident and is going into the pits for some sort of repairs there, probably to get his front wing fixed or something like that. But he is currently a little bit out of the running here. As you can see, that Hamilton here on lap 6 has moved into P4. He got a very, very lousy start, to say the least. So currently we have us running in P1. Rosberg is second, Bottas third, Hamilton is fourth. Skipping right ahead to lap 8 here, the gap down to Rosberg remains pretty solid at around 2 seconds here, give or take. And it appears that at this point, unfortunately for us, it appears that Rosberg is running in fuel conservation mode, and we are still unable to open up a decent gap on him there as we run a little wide here coming into the hairpin. And also it appears that Bottas is still keeping up with Rosberg, another sign that he is still running in fuel conservation mode, given that the Williams car is able to keep up. Jumping ahead to lap 11 here, the gap down to Rosberg is still around 2.5 seconds here. Our tires are starting to show a little bit of wear at this point here, but are still going pretty well. Also, Bottas still in third, and I believe Hamilton still in fourth place. And I have to say that so far it appears that the car is handling pretty well on the option tire here on this track. Although I am a little bit wary about what exactly is going to happen when we come out for our second stint, which is going to be on the prime tire. I don't think the car is handling very well on the prime tire this season here, and I'm not really sure why that is. Skipping ahead to lap 15 here, Rosberg is now being put under pressure by his teammate Lewis Hamilton, and also Bottas is now down to P4 as Hamilton is overtaking him, putting in the fastest lap of the race so far. And our tires at this point are pretty close to gone. We're only about 3 laps away from our first pit stop here, but we are really in trouble at this point. And Hamilton takes full advantage of the bit of a scuffle there as we come out of turn 2. Rosberg was trying to go down the inside of us there, but couldn't make it stick, and in turn, Hamilton passes him and is into P2, overtaking the lead here as we come in for our first pit stop. We are going to be switching to the prime tire for the middle stint of this race. And by the looks of it, Rosberg actually damaged his front wing there in that scuffle and had to pit early. Also, Bottas is into pit right behind us here. We rejoin the track in second. Very next lap here, Lewis Hamilton coming out of the pits right ahead of us, running very wide here in turn 1 as we close the gap on him quite dramatically here, but we are unable to go right up on his slipstream there, and unfortunately that means that Hamilton is going to be pulling away from us here, and there's not much we can do about that. Just look at him go. Jumping ahead to lap 20 here, as I said, Lewis Hamilton pulling away from us here ever so slightly, just lap by lap, and there's not too much we can do about that as we are currently about 2.5 seconds down on him. Also seem to be navigating the back markers there quite efficiently. We are not quite as lucky. But at this point here where Hamilton again puts in the fastest lap of the race, we run very wide in turn 1. I have to doubt my decision here to go with the prime tire on the second stint. I'm really starting to question whether or not the prime tire would have been better suited for later in the race, where the racing line is laid down with a lot of rubber and the car is running a much lighter fuel load. And I really have to say at this point, I think there's a dramatic difference in the prime tire and the option tire here. We are seemingly unable to even shake Valtteri Bottas, who is right behind us there. He can't catch us on this long straight due to the low wing setup we're running here. And also, Sebastian Vettel appears to have re-emerged here on lap 25 and is currently running in P4, which is very impressive racing considering the fact that he had to make an early pit stop due to some sort of damage. Jumping ahead to lap 30, Lewis Hamilton out in front, racing his own race here, almost 20 seconds ahead of us already. Also, the skies seem to be clearing just a little bit here. The sun is coming out. Hopefully, that'll increase the track temperature there, which will help these prime tires here. And what is really alarming at this point also is that we are being put under pressure from behind by Valtteri Bottas. We have been for this entire stint, and although the prime tires were supposed to be lasting a lot longer than the option tire, it really appears that we are starting to see a lot of tire wear here quite early in the stint. We are, look at that lap there, 1.8 seconds slower than our last lap, and that is definitely a bad sign right here. Again, running very wide indeed in turn 1. And I'm not really sure what we can do about this. We are pulling away from Bottas at this point here at lap 35, but as we jump to lap 37, Vettel has passed Bottas. I'm not really sure whether he's saving fuel or not. Bottas, that is. And Vettel is right up on our bumper there and is starting to put us under heavy pressure here. That is very impressive racing once again by Sebastian Vettel. He definitely has the pace on this track with the Ferrari, and it's a shame that he had to go in early to make that unscheduled pit stop there. Otherwise, probably he would have been challenging Lewis Hamilton for the lead right now. Jumping to lap 38, coming down the back straight here, we have Vettel all over us from behind with DRS. He's going to have him look down the inside here. We're going to close him off. We have the line here, but Vettel makes the move stick in a very daring move by an AI. Impressive racing here. We're going to try and return the favor in the very next turn, but we have to back out of that one. And Vettel is just putting the pedal to the metal right here and is leaving us behind. Very nice racing by Sebastian Vettel at this point. Skipping right ahead to lap 40, we are coming in to make the switch for a set of option tires for our very last stint here, and not a moment too soon. I have to tell you, those prime tires were just completely gone, and I'm really surprised with how the primes are just not holding up all that well when you use them on the middle stint. That is definitely the last time I'm going to try that for a while because it is just not working for us. Lap 41 here, we still have, at this point, we have Bottas right ahead of us here in P3. He managed to come out right ahead of us as he has made his second pit stop. So right now the hunt is on for Bottas as we are going to try and reclaim P3 here with only about 15 laps left in the Chinese Grand Prix. Lap 42, Bottas is now out on the prime tire here as we are on the option tire. You can definitely see the difference in pace right now. We have no trouble closing the gap on him here on the back straight. We're going to be using DRS, just going down the inside of him there, no problem whatsoever. Lots of power, able to pull away, create a nice little gap there. He's not going to be able to go for the switch back there and take the place back on us. And we are back into P3 here now, trying to chase down Sebastian Vettel there, who's about a couple of seconds up the road. Jumping ahead to lap 46, we are going to have to realize that we are just not at the same level right now that Vettel is, and he is pulling away from us quite dramatically without too much hassle whatsoever. 6.5 seconds up the road there, and we are still on fresh tires, and there's just not that much we can do about it. As you can see, we are opening up a gap on Bottas there in 4th position without too much hassle. So it's not like we're running off the pace here in any way. It's just that Hamilton and Vettel are just that much faster than everyone else. Lap 53. Now, as you can see there, the rain has started to come down, and I'm not really sure where that came from. We had a big fat 0% chance of rain on the weather forecast. So how this is working out, I have no idea. But as we skip to lap 56 here, the conditions have been for intermediate tires for at least 2 laps at this point here, but I have decided not to go in and make the switch here because I know the AI are not going to do it this late in the race here. That would effectively mean we would lose at least 2 or 3 positions here. So I would rather take my chances here on the in the wet conditions here on the slick tires and just by the seat of our pants there, we managed to hold on for P3 with Rosberg and Bottas breathing down our necks there. Anyway, Lewis Hamilton taking a win here at Shanghai. Sebastian Vettel is in second. We finish off the podium there in third position. And I see, you know, Sebastian Vettel only about 40 seconds down on Lewis Hamilton there. Things could probably have been a little different had he not made that pit stop there early in the race. But can't really worry about that right now. Not too many DNFs in this particular race here. Felipe Massa and Will Stevens not finishing the race. Drivers' Championship here, Sebastian Vettel still leading out in front of Nico Rosberg. Lewis Hamilton is in third, and we are currently in fourth, 30 points down on Sebastian Vettel. And still a bit of a surprise going on here as the Ferrari team is currently leading the Mercedes team in the Constructors' Championship by a margin of 21 points. At any rate, guys, thank you very much for watching once again. And as always, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more F1 2014 action. And I'll be seeing you soon enough. Bye-bye.